Hey guys, and welcome to Venice of America. When you visit Venice today, you can walk down these canals and take a look at the beautiful homes. But these canals are not the original ones. They were once here. And as we can see, the original canals built by Abbot Kinney have long been filled with concrete. Abbot Kinney wanted to turn these former marshlands into Venice, Italy. So in 1904, mule teams began excavation work to bring Venice of America to life. The street that I'm walking on, which is Main Street, was formerly the Coral Canal. When the canals of Venice of America first opened, which was on July 4th, 1905, there was about 2 miles worth of canals dug up. The canals would circle around 4 islands, and the widest canal was known as the Grand Canal, which is now Grand Boulevard. This street here, San Juan, was formerly the Venus Canal. If you were to make a right and go all the way up to Cabrillo Avenue, then you would run into what was formerly the Cabrillo Canal. See, in the early 1900s, cars weren't a thing here in the Southland. So when people wanted to come visit Venice of America, they would do so by taking a streetcar or a steam railroad. The canals had gondoliers that would take people around, obviously for a fee, and they would sing it to you in Italian. See, these canals right here that we still have today were not a part of the original set of canals. These canals would open about 5 years after the original canals of Venice of America. The canals became very popular with tourism and vacationing. Things would begin to change by the 1920s when cars became a thing in the Southland. More people were now able to drive down to Venice to visit the attractions, but there was a problem. Venice was built for people to walk around, not to drive around. So, like many other places in LA, there was no parking. The lack of car-friendly places in Venice presented a big problem for city leaders. So in 1924, Venice city leaders would decide that they wanted to drain the canals and fill them with concrete to make them public roads. The residents of Venice did not like the proposal and would fight the city for the next 5 years. They even questioned the city as to why they would have an area called Venice if it had no canals. LA city leaders have had a long history of going against its residents. And on July 1st, 1929, it was no different. The first dump trucks arrived in Venice and began to dump dirt into the canals. By the end of 1929, Venice's original canals were no more.